They lost Winston Davis, left out for Malcolm Marshall, coming back into the side after that hand injury at Headingley, and Gus Logie is 12th man. England have Taveray in the side, and they have a bowling attack that consists of Botham and Ellison and Allett and Agnew. West Indies won the toss, decided to bat, and in fact it is Jonathan Agnew we see first now. For the first time in a test match, this young man from Leicestershire comes into bowl. It's the first over of the day, and he's bowling to Gordon Greenwich. Greenwich off the mark. Oh, well bowled. A great delivery that from Paul Allett. It was right up to the bat. Brought the attempted drive from Desmond Haynes, and it did just enough to beat the bat.
Yes, he completely deceived Hayes there. He drew him forward, and he never really got properly forward. The ball just running into him, and in fact, reminiscent of Hayes, I think, being done at Headingley on a similar sort of stroke. And a very poor series indeed for a player of Hayes' ability who has really performed well in Test cricket.
First ball to Larry Gomes. So off the mark. An artist having a look at the test match, and that's what she's doing. No people on it yet, but a faithful reproduction with some interpretation as well from an anonymous young lady. Bowl. Just outside off stump, but that's a good delivery.
And again, a similar sort of delivery that in fact got Hayes out, but Greenwich playing defensively just got his leg probably outside the off stump, but it would probably have bowled him.
Single there to Gomes. I think Ellison will fancy an over or two before shine goes off this new ball. Not quite where he intended, but it's going to bring him 4 runs. I think that shaped square. I was a bit late on it. Found that very big gap between slip and gully. Beaten there. Good delivery there.
And this was a fine delivery again by Paul Allett. Just missing the outside edge of the bat. Very close to it indeed. And he really has bowled well this morning. He's bowled a very good line and length and moved it a bit either way. And again, you can just see how close he was to that. Just playing slightly across the line a little bit. That was probably the reason he missed it, but if it had been a bit straighter, he might have got an edge.
Oh, that's a good shot. Picked the gap perfectly between mid-wicket and mid-on. That raise just slowed this oval outfield down a bit. Normal circumstances a couple of weeks ago, that would have been 4, but they're having to run this time. One of the longer boundaries out there in first-class cricket. That's swung away. It'll find Allett down there. Well, first blemish by Paul Allett here this morning. But in his defence, I must say that outfield down there is a little bit rough at the moment. It seemed that the ball was going to bounce into his hands quite conveniently. But in and out, and his desperate last attempt to save it was in vain. That's fairly close, and he's gone. Well done, Ian Botham. So Greenwich goes LBW, it's 45 for 2. And this is the way it happened.
Yes, a pretty straight delivery to this. Greenwich on the back foot, just coming back into him, and I think it hit him on the right leg there. You can see it from the other end here. Yeah, that looked pretty straight, below the knee, so I can't think he could really grumble.
He let the first couple go past. He didn't muck around with that one. Sorts of shouts there, and didn't seem to me that it had flown off Richard's glove. Good catch. He's up 3 yards, and he took that magnificently. Ellison's first wicket in Test cricket. You can mark that down as one of the best slip catches you'll see for many, many years. Gomes out, caught both them, bowled Ellison.
This is a fantastic reaction catch by Ian Botham, because he's hit hard at it, it's flown very quick, and he's plucked it down from in front of his face with both hands.
Well, that was a great catch and a marvellous breakthrough for England. And what a moment for Richard Ellison to take his first wicket in Test match cricket. Gomes out for 18. Dujon saw it through to lunchtime with no addition to the score. 64 for 3 it was at lunch. And before the interval, Ian Botham had been trying to set up Viv Richards for that hook shot, to have him caught by one of the two men down at long leg. Richard Ellison was the man just behind deep square, and Paul Allett the one who was finer. Here's the first over after lunch now, and it's Botham bowling to Richards.
That's the short one, there's the hook shot. Allett's coming round, and he's caught it, and he's fallen for the trap, and Botham has done it again. Well, Richards will be crossed, two men out there for that shot, dropped to the short one, hooked it, and Allett in the end took a very, very good catch. 64 for 4, and Richards is out for just 8. Really surprising this for Viv, because he knew the two men were back there, got the feed ball, and he did exactly what Botham was looking for him to do. Tremendous ovation for Clive Lloyd here on what will certainly be his last Test match appearance in England. Well, that leaves Ian Botham just 1 wicket short of 300. That's his 299th Test wicket. And his figures to date in this innings: 2 for 20, 7 overs and 2 balls. .64 for 4, Botham to bowl.
Well, again, Botham attacking Clive Lloyd with the bouncer straight away, which is, it's never a bad delivery, and Clive got in a bit of trouble there. He didn't really get out of the way very well.
This has been Richard Ellison from the pavilion end, and just the 3 overs before lunch. Took that wicket of Larry Gomes. That's through, wide of Gower at slip, racing away down to the Vauxhall end. Tavra giving chase. There'll be 3 runs here for Dujon. Botham busy organising his field for Jeff Dujon. Just got the one man out on the lakeside boundary. Got a short leg up now. And he's gone, yes, up goes the finger and Dujon is out. A nice little lollopy, sloppy catch there to slip, no problem at all. And 3 wickets now for Botham. Not a very good shot I felt there from Jeff Dujon. It was short enough really for him to have avoided, but off the glove I fancy.
Yes, and quite a bit of bounce there. It got very high, and really to try and play it defensively was almost impossible, but it certainly looked like the glove or the bat handle, and it just lobbed nice and gently to slip.
The applause ringing around the ground now for Ian Botham, because that was his 300th Test match wicket. So what a performance, 4,000 runs and 300 wickets now. And interesting to look in more detail, those 300 wickets. 5 wickets no fewer than 22 times in Test match cricket. And 10 wickets is taken on 4 occasions. 8 for 34 is best against Pakistan at Lords. Of course, he got 8 against this same West Indies side at Lords. So Marshall to face Ellison. And it's a magnificent catch this time by Gower at slip. And that late outswing again causing the downfall of Malcolm Marshall. Beautiful piece of bowling. 70 for 6. Real collapse for the West Indies as Marshall goes for naught.
And again, the ball full length, pitched right up there and swinging out, which is what we've said all season's been needed. And Gower really taking off to his left, and a really magnificent catch. You couldn't see a better slip catch than that, because it went very quickly and fairly high. But again, the full length ball swinging away will cause problems to this West Indian batting.
It's a good firm blow through mid-on. Sackney giving chase, long way down to that Vauxhall end. Should comfortably save the 4, but they'll go through for 3. Botham now to Baptiste. Oh, and that was so close to Downton. So he's got off the mark, but could so easily have been out again.
And this delivery is certainly bouncing a lot higher than the ball previous. I know it was shorter, but that got quite high above his head. Just a faint touch and just fair in Paul Downton's hands.
No mistake with that. He's actually had rather a poor year, Eldine Baptiste, with the bat. Everyone's mind flashes back to that marvellous first Test innings he played for 87 not out, but he's only made 160 runs on the whole tour, including that 87.
Good shot.
Up now, and this is the counter-attack. It's just a question now of whether or not England can contain it. Baptiste launching himself at the bowling, and Lloyd in fact playing rather a secondary role. Well, that won't go for 4. It's slowing up already in the slightly dampened outfield. Baptiste hadn't fallen over. They may well have run 4 and could even do so now. Might need a dive. Lloyd's got 2 bats. You don't often see that out in the middle of a Test match. It's like carrying a 7-pound penalty.
Well, this is quite fun because Clive Lloyd makes the drive, doesn't quite middle it. And there's the fall by Baptiste, and Clive Lloyd picks it up. Thinks he's just going to give it back to him, but he doesn't want it. He's got to run like hell to get in.
That's a great effort there at mid-wicket. David Gower takes off his hat. Looking to hit that straightish little flick of the wrist in the air. And I suppose you could say it was a very fine stop in the end by Gower. And he's gone this time. Beautifully taken low down by Fowler at short extra cover. Aldine Baptiste looking at that ball on the up. Couldn't quite keep it down. Went hard and low to Fowler at short extra.
Agnew will enjoy the opportunity to bowl to a new batsman, Roger Harper, about to face his first ball.
It's a good looking shot to get off the mark with. Over pitch ball, long foot out, cover driven for 4. Good shot that, the long left leg, right out the pitch of it.
Shot. Even the slow outfielder won't pull that up.
It's a pretty good shot, but a little bit risky. It was fairly straight and swinging away, but hit it very well through mid-wicket, and it certainly went to the boundary quite quickly.
Didn't quite time that, but they should pick up 3. It's taken 350 balls for the 150 to come up. 7 wickets down. He was waiting for the, well, either for the well-pitched up one or for the bouncer, but he was going to give it a lot of hammer, and now I think Clive Lloyd's going to give Roger Harper a bit of hammer.
Yeah, you've got Roger Harper, and he was going way back outside leg stump there, and eventually he tried to cut a delivery that would have missed leg stump by 6 inches.
Not just that ball, but the whole over. He set Harper up and knocked him over. He needed to bowl the most perfect Yorker there to settle the issue, and that's exactly what both of them did. That's gone. That's well bowled. A big swinging, almost Yorker. The in-swinger. Holding wasn't mad about the decision, but he was completely beaten by the swing there. And now Ian Botham, for the 23rd time, has taken 5 wickets in an innings.
So again, the catchers gather round for Joel Garner. Well, Botham got rid of Richards earlier in the day. And would really make his day to complete it with his other Somerset colleague. Plenty of wide open spaces in front on the offside. And And Garner's found it. A long chase there for Graham Fowler. They're looking for 3 here. That's in the air, it's over the top though, it's a fine shot, perfectly safe. Just dropping short of the ropes there. A conclusive blow there from Clive Lloyd. Fair amount of risk in that. He had to time it exactly right to clear that fielder, who's quite deep there, to allow him the single. So we're left now with just a single slip. That's Tavri for Clive Lloyd. So a good 50 for Clive Lloyd, that boundary taking him on to 53.
He's gone this time. Garner walks, disappointed. So will Lloyd be, but that's been a great partnership to take the score along from 154, where 2 wickets fell, through to 190, leaving Clive Lloyd 60 not out. And bear in mind that Lloyd almost was unable to play in this test match. And Clive Lloyd, despite that personal performance of 60 not out, will be desperately disappointed by the final total of 190. The partnerships between Lloyd and Baptiste and Lloyd and Harper are the ones that gave West Indies their chance, but that's not very many runs, 190. The bowling figures for England are very, very impressive. Don't worry too much about Jonathan Agnew, none for 46 in his first test match. He bowled well enough for a youngster making his debut. Allett bowled superbly, 3 for 25 from 17 overs. Both of them brilliant, 5 for 72, and he really ran in today and gave it everything. And Richard Ellison bowled extremely well, mostly outswingers with the occasional one that kept straight, 2 for 34. So it was 5:24 when the innings ended. It left Fowler and Broad or whoever else might have to come in with just about 20 minutes batting, and I can tell you that's no fun at all against this West Indian pace attack. They had to try and survive though. It's Joel Garner coming in, and he is bowling to Graham Fowler. Safe and off the mark, and that'll be a tremendous relief for Graham Fowler and his many supporters. Broad is gone. Barry Mayer has looked at the clock, but there's no doubt about that one. I wondered for a moment if he'd caught his bat with his pad, but it just looked as though it was through him for pace. Yes, that was a very, very quick delivery, and it meant Pat Pocock had to come in and play out the last 2 balls of the day to leave England 10 for 1 wicket. Joel Garner, the wicket taker. Chris Broad bowled by Garner for 4, but it was still very much England's day. They fought hard, and I thought that was the best bowling I've seen from England throughout the series. Not just because they bowled out the West Indies for 190, which in itself is a very, very good performance, but because their line today was very, very good. And I think David Gower must have really worked hard on them to insist that they bowled straight. Their length, well, that was very good as well, but the most important thing was that they bowled straight, and there was none better out there today than that experienced campaigner and great all-rounder Ian Botham, who in addition to scoring over 4,000 runs, today took his 300th wicket in highlights of the second day's play of the final Cornhill Test match of this series, England against West Indies. Yesterday, England were absolutely superb. They bowled out West Indies for only 190. For the first time in the series, I thought the bowlers bowled a top-class line. They were very, very straight. Their length was good, and David Gower must have been very, very delighted with the way they performed. But what now of the batsmen today? Because England started off the morning at 10 for 1 wicket. Yesterday evening they had to bat for 20 minutes, and they lost Chris Broad, bowled by Garner, for 4. We pick up play now in the second over. Graham Fowler is the batsman. There are 3 runs added, and Joel Garner is coming into bowl.
Well, a painful one. And again, the late movement off the pitch. That's a good shot. Nicely into position, forced off the back foot. Gomes giving chase. Should just cut that off. Little back heel. And the left-hander with a good shot there. Goes on by 3 more runs. And a nasty short one again. Just quite duck low enough.
Must have done some damage, that, because it was absolutely straight on. It didn't bounce off anywhere. The ball fell dead. The impact is considerable. Ball moving at anything up to 90 miles an hour.
But the bad news in the middle at the moment is that Graham Fowler is having to retire hurt.
Well, another one, almost exactly the same place, and Chris Tavares managed to just keep the bat away from the ball.
Pat Pocock is still there after 42 minutes. And he's done a splendid job. It's a very, very difficult task for a night watchman to come in, face a couple of balls overnight, and then come out the next morning against fresh bowlers. And that was something he couldn't avoid. And we could have done without Marshall's gesture there, telling him to get off back to the pavilion. I'd have thought that was rather unnecessary. Anyway, Pocock has gone after a very good performance this morning. A bouncer, and the catch taken very easily by Gordon Greenidge, coming around from 4th slip. That's safe. But for one agonising moment, David Gower's heart would have leapt. It was very much a last-minute poke.
Yes, and in fact, Michael Holding got David Garner out like this at Edgbaston, and very similar shot, same sort of ball. But on this occasion, he managed to get it between the 4th, 5th slip area and over the top there, but certainly a very dangerous shot.
That's a better stroke. The bounce wasn't there for Holding, but Gower was still more across to it and punched it away beautifully through cover point. A class stroke.
Yes, he got in a better position altogether, and he got over that and hit it with a slightly more cross bat, which I think is the way to play it against these quicker bowlers. Occasionally David Gower tries to play it with almost a straight bat, and if he does that, the ball is going to edge into the gully area. If he plays it with a cross bat and gets a slight top edge, it will fly over the top, and I'm sure that's the better way to play it.
Ooh, that was a nasty one, and he's gone. Just a little flick of the gloves. And a great disappointment there with Gower going to Holding. Caught by Dujon behind. End of a real horror series for David Gower. So he goes for 12. And, the one success in the England side this year is Alan Lamb, who's on his way out now. Alan Lamb underway. Just turned that quite nicely. Kept it down, brings him just a single. If anybody has any degree of confidence facing this space attack, it must be Alan Lamb, who's bounced back into some really cracking form in this series. 300s he's made to date. Just dropped the bat on that, but timed it nicely. We'll make a couple of runs out of this. So it sees Chris Tavery into double figures. 50 also up on the board for England. Taken some little time, but it's been desperately hard work out there. He's got it through this time, though. Squirted away down the third man. It's racing down towards that boundary. And it's 4 to Tavery.
Yes, so it's not often to get it through the slip area, but Chris Tavery managed to just find the gap between them there, and it sped away for 4 runs. You don't need to put any power into it, it's just a matter of playing it if you can find the actual gap.
The light worsened just before the luncheon interval, and in fact the umpires went off 10 minutes before the scheduled time for close of play for that first session. And they were also having lots of other trouble, because several times they had to go and ask the spectators on the western side of the ground if they'd mind turning off their transistor radios. It was very, very upsetting for the batsmen. I can assure you that there's nothing worse than being out in the centre and having that sound blasting across you. 57 for 3 at lunch. Tavery was 15 and Lamb 4, and it was really a very, very difficult session as far as England were concerned. We pick up play now in the 4th over after lunch. 7 runs have been added to take the score on to 64, and it's Michael Holding coming into bowl. Chris Tavery is taking strike. Tavery was okay. He's now gone. The deflection down the leg side, and Michael Holding has claimed another wicket. He picked up David Gower just before lunch with a very difficult delivery. That one, again, short-pitched and flying, and Dujon moved nicely to take it down the leg side. So England in trouble now, 64 for 4. Lamb is not out 10.
Ball goes up, almost may have just flicked the fingers of the right hand.
We'll have to go. Dubai has signalled. That was a brave piece of running. Larry Gomes was the fielder coming in very quickly, and he has gathered the ball in now. Oh, it was well read by Alan Lamb. Ian Botham's not off the mark. And the batsman out today, Pat Pocock, without scoring. Chris Tavery for 16 and David Gower for 12. And very nearly Ian Botham before getting off the mark. Very good delivery, that.
Well, that's really cut back, and we talk about cutting a player in half. That one certainly did. Jackknifed Ian Botham, and he was able to actually get out the way because he just did maintain a sideways position there. It is a great help.
Very close indeed. Just have sneaked outside off stump as the ball hit him.
Watch that left pad come across. He's
really thrust that left pad across.
Beautifully bowled.
So the short ball followed by the Yorker right up in the block hole. crash. Could have found its way through, inside edge onto Botham's feet.
Another long chase for Desmond Haynes, but he won't be able to stop the boundary this time. Botham has picked that up beautifully. Just flicked the tip of Holding's fingers. I suppose in that sense you can class it as a chance, but Botham clobbered it right in the meat of the bat, and it was just a reflex action that allowed Holding to get his left hand to it. It's 83 for 4. Botham's gone to 14. He's gone past Lamb now, who's on 12.
And another one, and he's gone this time. Just flicked the glove, couldn't get out of the way. West Indies are delighted. Botham's gone for 14, and real trouble now for England. 83 for 5.
So Ian Botham caught between two minds there. He was going to play, then he was going to get away. Tried to pull back. Graham Fowler. Well, perhaps it would have been better if he'd had that arm coverage first time out.
And that's out to LBW. Lamb goes. Marshall strikes again. And for the first time, I think we saw a case there of irregular bounce. Lamb onto the back foot, expecting the bounce, and I think for the first time in this match that ball kept low, consequently left Lamb with no price at all. There's some over there for Marshall, getting rid of Botham and Lamb in that 1 over, and figures now 3 for 15 from 11 overs. So Fowler settles down to face Holding. Good looking stroke off the back foot, timed very sweetly through the covers. And that won't do Graham Fowler any harm at all. Good to come back after taking a nasty blow and play a really class shot there. That's a good shot. Again, the feet moves quickly and nicely into position, flipped it through the onside. Desmond Haynes roaring after that. Confident in taking 3, saves the 4. And he's gone for a hook shot. And, brings 100 up, brings a single. It's not the shot that you see Graham Fowler try very often. So 3 figures on the board finally for England. Those come up in the 40th over. That's through. Half a giving chase. It's a fair old move or two. Pick up, throw on the turn. And he runs there, no mid-off, just pushed nicely. A little right-hander, he's coming back for 3, good run in. It's up in the air, keeper's after it, 3 of them going for it, could be a collision. He let off there for Chris Fowler, not without anybody shouted or called. But, both Marshall and Richards colliding there. But, I would have thought that long leg running in here, a much better chance than slip or the keeper going backwards. And, surely Marshall should have shouted for it. Just out the corner of his eye saw Richards appear at the last minute and withdrew. That's gone. Yes, this time Richards made no mistake at slip. Widest delivery, and this time Fowler not quite there to the pitch of the ball, the outside edge. It's 116 now, and Fowler, who's made top score out there, has gone.
Yes, in fact, Fowler never really got across to this. His leg's gone about middle stump, and his bat's 2 feet away from his body. The ball's a foot outside of stump, and really, it wasn't quite a full half volley, so there's only one place that ball could go, and that was into the slips, which is what happened.
Not quite where it was intended, but it's racing away there with Roger Harper, the man giving chase. They're all handy, whether they come off the middle or off the outside edge. Just out of reach of Roger Harper, 4 runs. Well, Clive Lloyd has been having a long, hard look there at the slip formation, trying to decide if he can afford a man from somewhere else to fill that gap between slip and gully. That's exactly where the ball went. And that couldn't be a more straightforward dismissal. We've seen it happen a number of times where the batsman is not quite sure whether to go down or let the ball go, or in the end play a stroke. But I reckon Downton was in about 3 minds there of just what to do. Clive Lloyd was the catcher. Joel Garner takes the wicket, and it's 133 for 8.
Let's see what Paul Allett's got to deal with. Well, that's a particularly good shot. Moved his feet quickly, expecting it short, flicked it away to the leg side. Coming back for 3, that's good running. Have to hurry. And comfortably home in the end. He's laid a bat on that, and not many people have done that to Marshall today. Word, he's got 4 for it. A very bold shot there from Paul Allett. And it's brought up to 150 for England. There is the Crystal Palace mast in the distance. See the flashes. So Marshall to Allett. And that didn't take long, did it? First ball, a fuller length for the first time, I think, at late order batsman, and it's paid the dividends. Allett, in fact, late on the shot. 4th wicket there to Malcolm Marshall. And exactly what West Indies wanted. So, if they knock Mr. Agnew over fairly quickly, they might just have an awkward little spell out there this evening. That's a good-looking shot. He's got a nice over-pitch ball on the leg stump. He's dealt with it very firmly. That's another good shot. And again, he got the over-pitch ball on leg stump. And if they want to take 3, they can do so here. All these runs quite valuable. Takes England nearer to that 190 total. The only problem is that Jonathan Agnew has pinched a strike now. Agnew's made 5. That's the end of it. A little bit unlucky there. He backed away. Would have missed by a good foot. Stuck him on the pad and casually went on and removed the off bail. So the congratulations to Marshall, but finishes up after bowling very well with a very lucky wicket there.
Yes, it was a rather lucky wicket for Malcolm Marshall, but he bowled extremely well throughout that England innings, which finished on 162. 59 minutes lost for bad light. The fact that it wasn't an hour meant that the extra hour wasn't taken to take us through to 7 p.m. A lot of double-figure scores there for England, but no one managed from the moment Tavare was dismissed to get past the 20 mark. Richard Ellison not out 20, a fine knock that, and Paul Allott 16 gave the pair of them a very, very healthy partnership. 162, a deficit of 28, and full marks to the West Indian bowlers there. I thought they were absolutely magnificent today. The pitch was quite good, a lot of bounce in it, and it was quite pacey. Garner 2 for 37. Might not have been at his best today. Marshall certainly was. He bowled very, very fast and was very dangerous indeed. 5 for 35 from 17.5, holding 2 wickets, and Baptiste 1. But now the West Indies had a nasty little 20-minute session to get through towards the end of play, and it was decided that Ian Botham would take the new ball from the pavilion end. This is the first over of the West Indian innings. He's bowling to Gordon Greenwich.
Well, that's short, and Greenwich in position, hooks it away down to long leg, races back for the second. Those 2 runs give West Indies now a lead of 30. Three slips, a gully, short leg, cover point, mid-off, mid-on, and a long leg for Paul Allott. And that's a confident start by Desmond Haynes. He needs a score. He's had a pretty miserable series, but there's 4 there for him.
In fact, Hayes' feet there must have been very, very close to the wicket as he slipped. You can watch his feet there, and he slips really very well back. Luckily, his left leg went outside the leg stump, otherwise he would have kicked his stumps down there. And the right leg, in fact, went farther back as well there.
It's one way. That's placed nicely. Fowler giving chase. He's got plenty of speed. Will cut it off, and they'll settle for 2.
And that 28-run lead for the West Indians was turned into 43 runs by the close of play, and they have all 10 second innings wickets standing, and that is a very, very healthy lead in what so far is a low-scoring match. Just the 2 bowlers used for England in that West Indies second innings. 2 overs for both of them, 6 runs, and 2 for Allott, 8 runs. I thought it was a pity Richard Ellison wasn't given an over. He showed in the first innings that he can swing the ball out. It might have been just what was needed there in that short time before the close of play. So at the end of the second day, West Indies 15 for no wicket, 43 runs ahead, and quite an eventful day, as indeed was the first day of this Cornhill.
The overnight score. Paul Allott bowls to Gordon Greenwich.
That's a good shot. Lovely little short arm jab, and only the slowness of the outfield will rob Greenwich of 4. In fact, he's going to have a go for it. And he's done it in relative comfort. the shot. That's racing away for 4, even though the outfield is a little slow.
Alec bowls to Greenwich.
Fatal. And to be fair, Allen hasn't strayed there very much. But Greenwich and all the other West Indians are very, very strong. 4 more all run, and once again it's Richard Ellison who has been doing the chasing. Now is the fielder. We'll cut that off. Up for the West Indies, and onto that add the 28 lead they had, and they're motoring along very, very smoothly this morning. Jonathan Agnew is to start off at the Vauxhall end. Caught, well bowled. Agnew's wicket. Greenwich goes, cramped him for room, and that's a great moment for Jonathan Agnew. Ian Botham took the catch, and Agnew, who struggled just a little in the first innings and this morning has had problems, suddenly will be on top of the world.
And that's the bit of encouragement that Agnew will need, because he's not a bad bowler, this lad, and if he can just get his tail up, I believe he's capable of getting a wicket too.
It's the breakthrough England so desperately needed. 79 behind. Now they've taken their first wicket. Larry Gomes coming out. Gomes off the mark.
And he's gone. Beautiful start then for Ellison, and a fine catch there by Tavri at slip. That ball swung just slightly the other way, little outside edge, and a marvellous start for Richard Ellison. 52 for 2, and Gomes goes for just a single. Little Kent combination there.
Ellison getting the ball in the right place straight away, just outside the off stump there, where Larry Gomes is a bit vulnerable. He played through it to drive, and the ball went very, very low indeed. It really was down by the boots, and it just carried there. Fine catch.
I think the West Indies will be considering that the great Richards is overdue a score. Oh, outswing or not, that was driven very firmly on the onside for 4 runs. And that ball certainly swung away from him. He still managed to find the middle of the bat and put it on the onside. Oh, and the stroke a lot there. That was another good outswinger, looking for the extra cover drive, thick edge, race wider slip for 4 more. They're in the 3-figure lead, 97 ahead, West Indies. And that must be close. Yes, up goes the finger. He moved across and comprehensively beaten there. What a great moment that is again for Jonathan Agnew. What a morning he's having. Greenwich followed by Richards. Richards looking very plumb LBW there. 69 for 3. And the West Indies master has gone for 15.
Well, he's looked very casual this morning, as Viv Richards, and I was safe like a millionaire and a little bit slack here. The ball certainly came back at him a little bit. He looked fairly well in front.
It's Agnew now to Lloyd. And the big fella very quickly off the mark.
It's beaten Pocock. That field is fairly slow. Not slow enough. And shorter pass to the ground. 4-5 rate. Here's Botham now. Nice shot. Hardly the place to bowl for the man they so strong on leg spin.
The West Indies go to lunch at 3 for 98, with Haynes 28 and Lloyd 19. Greenwich made 34. England Test debutants Jonathan Agnew and Richard Ellison have taken the 3 wickets to fall. Agnew has 2 for 23 and Ellison 1 for 21. We rejoin play with the first ball after lunch. Ellison bowls to Lloyd.
And immediately on the way. Three runs there to Clive Lloyd, brings up the 100 for West Indies. Takes his own score on to 22, 101 for 3 in the 29th over. Ellison now to Haynes. That's going to be 4 runs. Out from a thick edge again, races away down to that Vauxhall end.
ESPN. Clive Lloyd and Desmond Haynes look dangerous as Agnew bowls to Haynes.
The runs there for Haynes. Now third man races away for 4 runs. Some little while since Desmond Haynes found the boundary, but that takes him on to 40. And the total to 1, 2, 4 for 3.
It won't be needed. Ellison's done it again. Once more, the ball that goes away from the left-hander. Lloyd is annoyed with himself. Ellison is delighted, and so is David Gower, because that was a very, very dangerous partnership, broken now by the young man making his debut in this Test match. Even the most experienced player can play that sort of stroke. And even the most experienced player goes through moments where he's really annoyed. He's broken. So that's 4 to Dushaw. Great save there by Graham Fowler. That's 4. Good shot too. Really belted that away through extra cover. And again, 4 more. So Geoffrey Dujon has come out here and carried the attack to England after the loss of his skipper, Clive Lloyd. 150 comes up for West Indies. They're 180 ahead now with 6 wickets in hand, with 44 to Haynes and 20 to Dushaw. It's 4 more, a chancy one that time. Beautiful shot. Desmond Haynes goes to his half-century, and 123 balls faced, 7 boundaries, and it's his 14th Test 50.
That's a leg sweep. So 4 more to Haynes. Ball pitching round about leg middle stump. Pretty safe shot there. Swept around by Haynes. Takes him on to 66 now. 185 for 4. That's a great shot. let it come on and flat botted that square. And there's some more for him there. And it's a long chase. Take the 3. Haynes quite keen to come back for the 4th, but Dujon quite wisely would have nothing to do with it. So 2-0-1 on the board. Pressure being put on Haynes now with a silly point. That's the way he's responded. The big one over the top. Well, that's the thickish edge. That's where the off-spinner absolutely detests to be hit or edged. Dujon's come a long way. He's got to be out if the throw's any good. Well, that's quite unique. He's dived full length with arms outstretched. The bat is still in the middle of the pitch and he's made his ground.
By tee, the West Indies are in a handy position at 4 for 212, a lead of 240. Only Ellison and Agnew have been able to break through. Botham and Allott have been expensive. We rejoin play in the second over after tea. 2 runs have been added as Ellison bowls to Dujon.
And nicely taken by Chris Tavares. Alan Lamb, in fact it is. Tavares has moved from there. Lamb has gone to slip and Dujon is out.
Yes, and it was a little bit wide, but it certainly had a bit of swing on it, and that's the place to bowl them. He drew him into the shot again, and Lamb took a nice catch at slip, chest high.
The game picture is becoming clearer as Allott bowls to Baptiste.
And is he gone this time? Yes, up goes the finger and finally he's got an edge. Catch Stainton behind and Allott, my word, he's deserved that wicket. And happy time by and large for Eldine Baptiste out there. Push forward, a little bit of movement, a deflection. And Downton, who's had a very safe pair of hands right through this series, grabbing hold of it. That's short again for 4 more. Handy for when you're on 95. 100. Up goes the bat. Stainton all through the summer. But well deserved. It's already been fielded. 4 runs have been given. And sadly another invasion. Haynes is over the moon. He doesn't know where to run next. He's going all over the middle.
Here's Botham. Well, Paul Allott didn't see it until it was halfway towards him. And when he did see it, he didn't allow for the spin on what seemed to me to be the second bounce. Or in a different direction. And Lamb's got this. And Botham will be able to say that his tactic worked. That's twice in this match. West Indian batsmen Richards and Marshall have fallen for this.
Well, you put him there and he bowled the ball and he hit it straight to him. It was fielding practice.
Roger Harper now taking strike to Agnew. (24, 25, 26 rows back. Beautiful shot by Roger Harper. And it's Paul Allott. Round the wicket now to Harper. Allott again. And 4 again.
As day 3 ends, the West Indies lead by 312 with 3 wickets in hand. Haynes is not out 111 and Harper 14. Botham and Allott have a wicket each. Agnew has 2 and Allison 3. We pick up play after 9 runs.
Match at the Oval on Saturday when they launched a brilliant counter-attack against England's bowlers. Today, England have the task of bowling them out in the 3rd innings of the game and setting themselves a reasonable target for victory or giving themselves time for the draw. West Indies start the day on 284 for 7. Desmond Haynes 111 not out and Roger Harper is 14. New ball is due very shortly, so England have a chance, and we pick up play now in the 5th over of the wicket, but it cost him 79 runs. Agnew and Ellison, I thought, bowled extremely well today, and so too. New ball is due very shortly, so England have a chance, and we pick up play now in the 5th over of the morning. 7 runs have been added to the overnight total. Paul Allott is the bowler, and it's Roger Harper taking strike.
Butt on to pad there, but flying away behind instead of in that short square leg position. That's what the short leg is there for, hoping that that nudge from the bat onto the pad is going in his direction. That one going a good deal finer. Beautifully taken. What a great catch that was by Paul Downton. Harper goes, Allott strikes, and really a first-class catch. Can't see him any better there. And to change directions, took it inches off the ground as that ball caught the inside edge and flew away down the leg side. So 293 for 8 with Harper gone for 17.
Yes, a little bit of bounce, a little bit of nip back here for Paul Allott. It gets an inside edge. You can see that it's bounced thigh high. And really a magnificent catch there by Downton, because he would be fractionally going the other way until the ball started to move, and any wicketkeeper in the world would have been very pleased with that catch. Two for 72 now. Allott 2 for 51. Agnew 3 for 60. Ellison and Botham's 1 cost him 79. And holding away. Again, that very profitable area. Big gap between slit and gully. And applause again for smart work by Alan Lamb. Allott to Haynes. Short and 4 runs. Well, it's been pretty typical this of Desmond Haynes. Resolute in defence. Anything that wanted punishing has had the treatment. So 300 rattled up on the board. 121 of those to the opener. In Botham taking over.
And I'm sure that Agnew will be a little bit disappointed here. He's picked as a new ball bowler for England. He's bowled pretty well along, got a couple of very vital wickets. I'm sure he'd like to have come back with a new ball now at the tail end of batsman, and I think he'll be very disappointed.
So Botham in. He's got Michael Holding to bowl to now. Bowls him the bouncer, and that's magnificently struck. It was really a great shot. That's, I presume, why Michael Holding's wearing the helmet and why he's not afraid, even as a fast bowler at number 10, to play that shot.
Yes, and a fine shot this. Again, use of a new ball, and covered very well over square leg. One thing about these West Indian tail-end batsmen, they're not afraid to play the hook shot.
Blazing stroke from Michael Holding. Just make it before the fielder.
Yes, and a good shot here by Michael Holding. Whenever the ball's there to be hit, he's never frightened to hit it, and he hit that very well indeed through the covers. A little bit off the back foot, his weight wasn't just right, but the ball went for 4, and that's what matters.
Oh, great stop, good shot. Yeah, that's some fearful hammer, Michael Holding. A great stop by Graham Fowler out at cover. Really set a field for that. That's pitched 3 parts of the way to the boundary off the back foot. And Holding is just starting now to do what he did in those other 2 innings earlier this summer.
Yes, and this with tremendous power, because this went over mid-off. And the say, 3/4 way to the boundary, went to the boundary very quickly indeed.
That's a fantastic shot. It's gone for 6. He's picked it up. I don't know if he thought it was outside leg stump or not, but a little bit of late swing just brought it onto the bat nicely.
Well, they always say you want to bowl a low full toss or full length or whatever to keep the batsman from scoring, but that really on this ground is a tremendous blow, because that must be 100 yards of carry.
And he's gone. Desmond Haynes goes. Ian Botham is giving it the point to the fans in the West and showing them the stumps. But Haynes has still made 100. And the West Indies are still 350 ahead. Not sure it's quite the time for pointing at anything. And a standing ovation for Desmond Haynes. Played really well, held this innings together until Botham got him with the one that came back from outside off stump, little inside edge, back onto the stumps. Garner's off the mark, well, almost. Oh, and he gets runs, possibly 5. Ellis coming around like a greyhound around the boundary, and they'll only make it 4. 4 to Joel Garner. What a mix-up. Garner pushed. Holding didn't want to go at all. Holding wanted to keep the strike, and in fact did so in the end. And Fowler had gathered in. Garner now has to try and turn back. Holding decides to go. Fowler throws, and away it scoots through across the outfield. And that's out. And he walked. Didn't even bother to wait and see. absolutely plumb. The Yorker getting through there with Holding trying to smash it away on the onside. The innings is over for 346. That's a very impressive looking scorecard for the West Indians in the context of this test match. 346 all out, Haynes 125, Harper 17, and Holding a very good 30 with Garner 10 not out. And two good partnerships there today. First of all, Haynes and Holding, and then the last wicket partnership between Holding and Garner. The England bowlers, the ones not used today were Pocock, Agnew and Ellison. Both of them finished with 3 for 103. Allett 2 for 96. And it means now that England have to make 375 to win this match. I've got a feeling they've never made 375 in the fourth innings of a test match against West Indies to win, lose or draw. So it really is a most formidable task. Here's the first over of the innings. Malcolm Marshall is the bowler. There are no runs on the board, and Graham Fowler is taking strike.
First runs for Graham Fowler. Tease the fielder. They'll settle for a single. Well, this is Chris Broad. Just one ball left to face in this over. A real tester too. First ball, quick lifting. And Chris Broad doing pretty well there to take evasive action. A really quick delivery, this. Joel Garner from the Vauxhall end. So Broad finally underway. A couple of runs here for him. And that'll be a relief for the Notts opening bat. It's moving along now. Must be nearing completion. And the fielders are going in now. Looks jolly good, doesn't it? He's asking for it. Haynes is clutching it. But shake of the hand there from Barry Mayer. Obviously under the impression that ball didn't carry. It looked very close indeed, Ted Dexter.
Yes, well, that was the one he brought the man up for on the offside. It actually went leg side. And Graham Fowler hasn't moved. He's quite sure it wasn't out. And the umpire agrees with him. And I think by the time the fielder really got in his hands, I think he realized also, Desmond Haynes, that it must have just flicked the ground.
That's gone very fine. That's racing away for 4 runs. A nice bit of movement by the feet there by Graham Fowler. Got in position quickly. Just flicked it away down the fine leg.
Oh, well caught by Viv Richards. It might have been a straight catch in the sense that it went straight to him, but it was dropping very sharply. And Richards' safe hands gathered it in. Marshall has taken the first wicket. No addition to the total after lunch. Fowler is gone.
Yes, and Viv made this look very easy indeed, when in fact it was right down by his bootlaces and he caught it very easy.
Very strong on his pads, Chris Broad. Easy 3 runs there. Must have got an inside edge on that.
In actual fact, that kept very low indeed, was probably just missing leg stump.
Well, it's difficult to tell if that carried. I had the feeling it might just have got to Roger Harper before flicking the ground. Safe for 4.
A bit of fortune here for Chris Tavare. It's not often many go through or over that West Indian slit feelers, but it seemed to just go over the top of them there.
That's... Well, did that carry? Looked as though it might have done.
Yes, delivery running across crisp road, and I think this just... Yes, it just did carry.
It's one of those finger-trapping catches. And the bouncer inevitably to follow. That should bring 50 on the board for England. We might think about 3 here, indeed they do. So applause for the 50 going up, 51 for 1, with Broad share now 28.
Shot. Nice on the field there.
So just the 3 men on the leg side as Harper comes in to the left-hander. Something like an in-swinging Yorker there. Oh, drifting in with the arm. So there it is, Broad 39 has received 104 balls now. His partner, Tavare, has received just 103. It's a really nasty one, and Broad no chance at all. He has to go. And that a really vicious delivery. Not a great deal that Broad could do about it. Tried to pull himself away at the last minute, but really had no chance. And depressed, dejected. It's taken a long time to leave the wicket, and obviously most disappointed. It's a good shot. Short, forced beautifully off the back foot by Gower. So a nice way to get off the mark. Holding again, Tavare to face. And turned away nicely off his legs. It's gone quite quickly down to Gomes, so there's only a single. Well, as Ray said, the big guy's going to play shots. No bowled, yes, and it's gone. The over-pitched ball again, the one that he pitches up, just a shade of movement. Moving across, I think we'll just about hit something like leg stump. Well, it's a bitter blow for England. 88 for 3 now with LBW to holding.
You can see that delivery again from Michael Holding, both from near the stumps, pitches on about leg and middle there, and definitely goes back into David Gower, and that looks pretty plumb to me.
Magnificent catch. Haynes has gone mad. Alan Lamb goes, it's 90 for 4. And that went off the bat like a rocket. Tremendous reaction catch at forward short leg. Holding strikes again. And in the middle of all that is Desmond Haynes.
Yes, full length ball here. Alan Lamb just pushes through it off the middle of the bat, and it didn't go straight to Hayes. He had to make a lot of ground, and the distance he stood to the bat, that really is a tremendous effort, and he knows it is, and so do the rest of the West Indians. They're absolutely delighted with that magnificent catch.
Ian Botham's decided to give it a go as well. Three to Botham. Three for that. Gomes is the fielder. And in fact, it'll go through to the boundary. The outfield is quickened up a little. And Botham now goes on to 14. Michael Holding now off a shorter run. He's got 3 wickets with the long run, but he's back to about 15 paces now. And more runs for Tavare. So Roger Harper is the man there, but even Harper had no chance of picking that up. And that's a nice shot. Went in the air. But it's 4 runs. This switch in tactics is very, very sensible. Whatever Tavare can pick up now will spread the field. Square cut straight past Greenwich at short gully.
Botham surveying the scene there on 16. And Marshall back into the attack. It's a good shot. Beautifully timed there by Chris Tavare. That takes him on to 49.
Well, the best stroke Chris Tavare has played. Perfect timing off his legs.
So 44 put on by this 5th wicket pair. Botham was made 17 and 49 to Tavare. Garner to bowl to Botham. It's been the pattern for a little while there, both of them taking one off the first ball. That's gone, and Richards has taken it. Taveri goes for 49. And the end of a fine fighting innings from Chris Taveri, but he's the 5th man out. 135. Beautifully snapped up there by Richards. Quite to the pitch of it, as you could see. Richards moving easily to his left, snaps it up. And Downton off the mark. So Marshall in again. A short one, he's hooked it high, and it's gone for 4. Just cleared the deep square leg there. Not by a great deal. Placed out there for the catch. Marshall looking for vengeance. That's the way both of them disposed of him yesterday, or Saturday rather. It's an easy single there, and seems the West Indies are quite happy to give both of them that single. Takes them on to the 150 mark. And that's edge, but dropping, fancy just short of Clive Lloyd there. Rare blemish by Downton, who's made very few errors outside the off stump in this series.
And it will be Paul Downton's straight bat and determination that'll be needed tomorrow to stay with Ian Botham on 32 and Downton 2 in that total of 151 for 5. The bowling figures for the West Indies, a superb performance that. Marshall 1 wicket, Garner 1, but a blistering attack from Michael Holding. He bowled off his long run. He had 41 taken from 12 overs, but they wouldn't mind about that because he's picked up 3 wickets. No wicket. 150. He had 41 taken from 12 overs, but they wouldn't mind about that because he's picked up 3 wickets. No wicket for Baptiste and Harper, but a magnificent performance from Michael Holding. And it left, at the end of the day, England still requiring, well, only 224 more runs to win. But I must say that seems many a mile away. And either side in with a chance at the start of play. The odds must favour the West Indians because England still need 224 runs to win, and the West Indies need but 5 wickets to take a 5-0 win out of the series itself. The card, 151 for 5 at the start and 224 more needed to win for England. We pick up play now in the no wicket card. 151 for 5 at the start and 224 more needed to win for England. We pick up play now in the very first over. Malcolm Marshall is the bowler. It's the battle royal because Ian Botham is taking strike. It's in the air, but it's going to be safe. A bit of surprise effect there from Marshall, just ambling in. Shortish run, loosed the bouncer, and Botham didn't time it.
The ball rather wide on the offside for the stroke, but he middled it, and he was looking at the ball just about when he hit it.
There's one man just behind square out on the boundary. It's Ian Baptiste. Then there's another one very fine, round about 45 degrees or perhaps a fraction finer. Time that, and in fact it will still go for 4. With the outside edge for 4.
But just about under control, this one. Good bat work and good position to let the ball come on to him.
Down has opened up his stance quite a bit now for this round the wicket attack. And quite safe. Plenty of space there. Well, both of them have certainly tried to carry the attack to the West Indians this morning. Not always with the middle of the bat, but so far he's gone from 32 to 43. It's a good shot.
That was a cracking shot. Absolute cracker. He's looked at it all the way there, got in good position and really smacked it for 4. And these are tremendous tactics by him, both of them, because this ball is 62 overs old. There's not a lot of bounce and go in it anymore, and he's taking full advantage while, as it were, he has the advantage because there is a new ball to come.
Time that, but we'll be able to get 3 if he wants it. May prefer just to stay for 2. In fact, we'll take the 3 and brings up his half century. Only 50 to go for his first ever 100 against West Indies. Brilliant stroke. It almost looked as though he was giving himself a little bit of room for the shot. He certainly hit it right in the beef of the bat.
Both of them playing literally just at the length of the ball. I mean, or regardless of the length, should I say, just standing there swinging the bat, attacking every ball he can and getting full measure at the moment.
Marshall, and safely held. Botham goes. They picked him up on the bouncer. And with Botham's departure goes England's real hope of winning this match. Great while it lasted. He was caught by Marshall off Garner. A perfectly pitched short one from Joel Garner. Out for 54 in only 51 balls faced.
Well, the problem was this one just got a bit high at him, and it was very straight, absolutely straight at his head. So he wound up again, as has happened often enough, with his eye off the ball by the time he was hitting it. And he stop-edged it. but the perfectly pitched one.
190 or 4 wickets needed to win.
Another good delivery from Joe Garner. Just running across and bouncing a little bit and beating Richard Ellison just outside the off stump.
Barry Gomes, the fielder. Oh yes, kept, I suppose, just a little bit low, but no doubt about that. I should think LBW for Garner. He's taken both wickets this morning. The big fella's back in it again, and it's 186 for 7.
Yes, and with the West Indies, you never know which bowler's going to come and perform in the morning. But Joe Garner's certainly looking the best bowler this morning. And again, that ball just cut him back into Paul Downton.
Let's push that quite nicely away. But 1 is enough. Marshall now to Allott. That's a good shot. Beautifully timed. Fairly sped away to deep square leg for 4.
And certainly the outfield much quicker now than it was in the first day. Paul Allott just rolled his wrists on this using the pace of the ball, and away it went to square leg very quick indeed for 4. No need to run for that at all.
Oh, beauty. Allott really caught in no man's land there. It's a good firm drive. Straight past the bowler. Long chase back there. Well, that just managed to reach the ropes. That certainly wouldn't have done earlier on.
Yes, a good shot here from Richard Ellison. Didn't move his feet very much, but the bat went through straight down the line of the ball, and I suppose that's what matters. His feet were still anchored together.
Just about got down in time there. Of room on the offside there. And Gomes looking after it. So those 2 bring England on to the 200 mark. So holding back in the attack to Allott. Nothing more than a gentle loosener there. His figures today to this innings, 3 for 41, but it was that little spell. He took 3 for 5 in that spell, which really broke the back of the England batting. Broad, Gower and Lamb were his victims. That's edged and very safely pouched by Clive Lloyd. So the change pulled off the trick then.
Yes, this is just a good length and line, and Paul Howard a little bit slow in getting across. Playing very much stood from leg stump, his back way outside his body, and a very simple, straightforward catch to Clive Lloyd at slip.
Sort of catches that Clive Lloyd enjoys. Nice height, comfortable pace. Holding then to Pocock.
Well, that wasn't a bad delivery when you're a pair. 2 or 3 more like that, and Percy might not get a run in this series. Not a bad delivery, this. Just short of a length, and it certainly bounced and moved a little bit, and not a nice delivery for your first ball.
And it's happened. Yes, Pocock out for naught. Holding takes the court and goal. 200 for 9. Pocock a pair.
Pocock a little bit on his back foot. He never got his weight through onto his front foot, which he really ought to be doing. Just pushed through it, and really a bit early on it, I suppose, which is a comforting thing to say against the quick bowlers.
Gives off a little bit of room there, but down the middle of the bat, and Agnew's off the mark with a couple of runs. This is a man that's done the damage in the second innings, holding now 13 overs, 2 maidens, 5 for 43. Nasty rap on the finger.
Well, it's certainly courageous of Richard Ellison to take them on like this, because he knows if he's going to try and play this anchor role that they're going to do everything they can to blast him out. I have to admire his courage, but it may be a case at this moment of discretion being the better part of valour.
And he's caught. It's all over. Allison is gone. 202 then, all out England. On come the crowd. And it's a race. Most of the players have got through. 1 or 2 in trouble at the back there. So there it is, the whitewash victory for West Indies. And West Indies very convincingly win the series by a margin of 5 test matches to nothing.
Yes, 5 tests to nothing is a very, very big margin, not seen since Warwick Armstrong's side did it to England over in Australia in 1920-21. A tremendous performance that from Michael Holding. Only both of them there able to stand firm on this, the final day and part of yesterday, but all out for 202 England, and some great bowling performances there listed in the West Indies 5. Marshall 1 for 71 to go with his performance in the first innings. Garner 4 for 51, and Michael Holding, the champion, he bowled so well yesterday, and then today finished up with 5 for 43 in 13 overs, and very well deserved it was too. So after the match, Ray Illingworth, who was the adjudicator, nominated Desmond Haynes as the Cornhill Man of the Match. And the Cornhill Man of the Series presentation went to Gordon Greenidge. 2 well-deserved awards there. Greenidge had a great influence on this series because he made double centuries in the Lord's Test match and then up at Old Trafford both times.
Right, I gather now we can go to our little calypso. The West Indians are back in town. It's their disc.
umpire's head. We've arrived on the Captain Clyde, the cricket team, Englishmen fear and dread. But we're glad to say we're in the UK. West Indian batsmen can bat all day, and if your stumps are from halfway down the ground, that means the West Indians are back in town. When put in, we back to win, so baby smash the six in the pavilion bar. And when we feel, we often appeal, cause our catches in the slips are spectacular. But we're glad to say we're in the UK. West Indian batsmen can bat all day, and if your stumps are from halfway down the ground, that means the West Indians are back in town. Everywhere it was all ball, but we don't know why. We never shout that the man was out, but the next ball may bounce just a little bit high. But we're glad to say we're in the UK. West Indian batsmen can bat all day, and if your stumps are from halfway down the ground, that means the West Indians are back in town. But we're glad to say we're in the UK. West Indian batsmen can bat all day, and if your stumps are from halfway down the ground, that means the West Indians are back in town. But we're glad to say we're in the UK. West Indian.
Well, that's lovely music and a lovely piece of celebratory work there. Just one. The final Cornhill Worth, who was the adjudicator, nominated Desmond Haynes as the Cornhill Man of the Match. And the Cornhill Man of the Series presentation went to Gordon Greenidge. Two well-deserved awards there. Greenidge had a great influence on this series because he made double centuries in the Lord's Test match and then up at Old Trafford, both times when they were desperately needed by the West Indies. Well, the presentations to those two players were absolutely chaotic here at the Oval today. It was one of the most appalling presentation disturbances I've seen in a long time. Added to that, Jonathan Agnew, the England last man out, he was in the situation of having his bat stolen, helmet stolen, and gloves stolen.
Can we ask you, please, to give us a bit more room in the presentation area so that everybody can home and join the presentation as well as you can. Thank you very much.
You had a very frustrating time during that presentation, didn't you, Clark?
Yes, I think it was very chaotic. The scenes were not very good, I must say. And I think that it's time they do things on balconies, really, or they can still keep as much noise as they want, but still you can get through the presentation quite easily. It was madness, really.
Well, they were just enjoying themselves, I suppose, but it did make rather a mess of what should be a grand finale to a good series.
That's right. And the grand finale to a good series, Clive, many congratulations on a whitewash and on an 8th consecutive victory, equaling the Australian record many, many moons ago. You have an outstanding side and you've had an outstanding result.
Yes, Peter, I can say that what I'm happy about is that our injection of youth, they're coming through rather quickly, getting very professional, and they're getting the necessary experience that is needed for Test cricket. And that's the part that I'm quite happy about. The way the rest of the team is concerned, it's obvious that they're playing better as the years go on. Surely, I presume, in the next 3 or 4 years, some of those big names will be missing, and I hope that the people that fill them would perform just as adequate as they have.
Damien, it's been a very tough year for you. You have our sympathy because captaining a losing side, can you hear what I'm saying, David?
Just about.
Captaining a losing side is never fun. I'm sure you'd like to say something about Clive's side. Yeah, tough as it's been out there in the middle, particularly in this match with its bounce.
Yeah, I have noticed that they have played rather well through the series. And it's, as he says, the younger players have blended in well. It always helps to have the experience there. But they are a very good side, very capable in all departments. And it's been very, very frustrating. Whenever we've had a sniff of a chance of getting in there, one of their side has come through and played well. And again, vis-a-vis this last game, where Desmond Haynes, who's had a terrible series until now, finally came through, showed what sort of player he is again, made 100 and put it right back in their court again.
Clive, you said you thought that one or two of the big names might be missing soon. It's been announced that you're going off to Australia to captain the side there, but I just wonder, like Dame Melba, whether you might... I mean, you've been persuaded out of premature retirement once or twice. Is this for good now? Is it definitely going to be the last one?
Well, Peter, I was looking at it the other day. 3/4 of my career I've spent as being captain. It's a long time to be in charge, and I think I'm getting to that stage where you not that you're really getting tired of the situation, it's just that the pressure is getting more and more, really, and it's getting to me, more or less. I think it's a lot to do, too, with your family. They're growing up. My kids are, you know, just at the age now where they need to see me a little bit more often, I think. But surely the cricket over the years has been excellent. And I really think, too, we have a lot of good young players, and I don't see why we can't try and see if we can get a couple of them in at the moment.
What would you like to say to David and his England side at the end of this series?
Well, I can say that, you know, I've played against a lot of captains. I must say that David has come out of this with a lot of credit. The way he's handled the press, he hasn't made any excuses. He's just said things that were true. And I think he came out of this year with a lot of dignity. And I hope that, and in the future, that he would have quite a lot more luck than he's had this year. And I would think that with the right sort of guidance and the right sort of players to mold into a test side, that he's got this sort of charisma that can get the best out of players. And I personally wish him the best of luck in the future.
Well, David, you've got Sri Lanka coming up the week after this, and then a winter in India, and then some one-days when you'll be knocking into this character again, yes?
Well, yes, it'd be nice to meet them in the final of that competition. No, it's obviously a lot of work to be done yet. And we switch our sights very quickly now to Sri Lanka for the next game, which, again, entails a lot of effort. You've got to work hard when they've got some interesting cricketers. Obviously, we are now, or should be, favourites to win that, and we'll try and make sure that happens properly.
Do you think the Sri Lankan test will give the selectors a chance to switch around a little bit? And
I certainly hope not. From my point of view, you know, the lads that have fought through this series deserve to have a go at Sri Lanka. You don't suddenly bring in someone else just for the sake of it. And again, we've had some performances in this test series where people have merited keeping their place. We want to beat Sri Lanka as best we can. That doesn't mean making any more experiments for the sake of it.
Last thought with you, Clive, because I think this is the last time I'm likely to be talking to you at the end of a test in this country. And may I thank you for all your cooperation and friendliness over the years.
Cheers, thank you, Peter. I would think that the series is played in the best spirit possible. I don't think there was any bad blood between the two sides. You know, we have done extremely well, it's no doubt, and we've beaten other countries and such. It's just that the margin is a little bit greater here. But I don't think that the people throughout England have got anything to worry about. They have a lot of good cricketers, and I think with time they will produce the type of players that is expected. And I'm sure that, you know, looking around the county field, that they've got a lot of players to choose from. And as I said, with the right sort of guidance and the selectors sort of picking the right sort of people, I'm sure that it's not far off, you know, when England would be a strength again in Test cricket.
One more thought from you, David?
Well, I'd like to think along the same lines, of course. You've got a lot of cricket to be played in the future. We have got plenty of good players. One or two of them been blooded for the first time this series against hard opposition. And it's up to them to come through as they should do and improve over the years, and they will become a good side again.
Right, I gather now we can go to our little calypso. The West Indians are back in town. It's their disc.
Down the way where the skies are grey and the rain falls daily on the umpire's head, we've arrived on the Your stumps are gone halfway down the ground. That means the West Indians are back in town. When put in, we back to win. So baby, smash the six in the pavilion bar.